Hey my glam girls, welcome back to my channel. It's Chelsea, where we talk about all things glam and all things girly. So today I have the very long overdue video on the new Danessa Myricks Lowlighters. We have the Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder Lowlighters. I have all 4 shades and I will be showing you how I love to use them on myself, and of course sharing with you tips and tricks and all the suggestions on how you can get the most out of these products, because these are definitely different. And we got some comparisons, so stay tuned for all of that. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I truly do appreciate it. If you are new, click the subscribe button. I promise you, you won't be disappointed with the content that we have over here. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for deciding to come back and support my channel. I truly appreciate each and every one of you and all the support that you decide to give me. It really makes my day, and it just makes me feel so affirmed and like I have a place here in this space. So let's get right into this video. Okay, so like I said, we have the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder Lowlighter Soft Glow Highlighter. There are 4 shades and these do retail for $25. Let's get into the shades. So I'm gonna do swatches of all 4 shades from the lightest to the deepest, and then we'll get into the description of them. So the lightest shade is going to be this shade right here called Unbothered. This is going to be a mauve pink gold. This particular one, I would say on me, is going to be the shade that is going to be a little more cool in its tone, but it's not completely cool toned. Being that there is a gold shift to it, there is a little bit of warmth in it because of that gold shift, but this one I feel does pull a little cooler on me, so that if I were wearing more of a cool toned look, this would be the low lighter that I would choose for that look. Then let's move on to what Danessa calls her universal shade. So this is the shade called Low Key. This shade is described as a peachy gold. And because this is her universal shade, this is the shade that no matter what complexion you are, from the lightest to the deepest, you will be able to wear this shade and it look beautiful on you. And I've seen her apply this on different complexions. It looks beautiful on everyone. Here's a better swatch of this. And sorry if mine look busted up. I've had these for a little bit. The brand did send them to me, so I'm very appreciative of that. We go in next with Incognito. This is going to be described as a tan gold. This shade is definitely one of my favorites. And then last but not least, we have Off the Grid, and this is going to be described as a cinnamon red. This shade right here, I've also been loving. Yeah, all of these shades are really beautiful. So here they all are swatched on my arm. And my arm is going to be, like, this part of my arm is a little lighter than my face. So if you are lighter than me, like maybe a shade or 2 lighter, this is how these shades would look against your complexion. Okay, so let's get into the description of these. So this is said to be a new generation of tinted, light reflecting, balm to powder, skin transforming illuminators that are gonna blur and add a soft, lit from within glow all over the face. So these are going to have Upsolite in them, which we do know and love from the infamous Balm Powder, then to her Balm Powder Flushed. Now we have it in these low lighters. So straight off the back, if you're someone who has a lot of texture or even just some texture on your cheeks and it's to the point where you don't feel comfortable wearing traditional highlighters, this particular highlighter was made with you in mind. Because of that Upsolite technology, it's going to blur the texture, make it look a little smoother, and also give you that lit from within glow. So if you've got texture, these highlighters are made for you especially. If you don't have texture, these highlighters are still gonna work for you, and they are so beautiful. Now, what makes these different from your traditional highlighters is going to be that low light effect, meaning that you're not getting the most bling, the most like high shine, like glow to the gods, the people outer space can see me type of highlight. This one is going to be more subtle, but you know Danessa, she won't ever do nothing subtly anyway. So you can build these up to give you a nice bling, but it's still going to have like a softer hue to it versus a traditional highlighter. Also, it's going to be that balm to powder formula. So if you've ever played with balm powder or balm powder flush, then you're already familiar with that formulation because this formulation is just about the same. I would say that the Lowlighters have maybe a tad, a smidge more slip than balm powder flush and then balm powder. But not enough to be balmy. Like this is not going to be balmy or very emollient. Still going to give you a very soft, powdery look to the skin, but with a lit from within glow. Okay, so getting into the shades, if you are lighter complected, Danessa likes to make things easy for us, and she likes for us to be able to use her products to the best of our ability. So if you have a light to medium complexion, the two shades that she recommends that would be like great for your skin are going to be Low Key, of course, and Unbothered. If you have a medium to tan complexion, the two shades that she's going to recommend is Incognito and then, of course, Low Key. And then if you have a tan to deep complexion, she's going to recommend Low Key, of course, and Off the Grid. Now, in true Danessa fashion, she also likes to make it to where her products can be used by anybody. Even though there's recommendations, she still makes the products to where if you have a deeper complexion, don't just look at Unbothered and go like, well, that's not going to work for me because it's more so recommended for someone who has a light to medium complexion. You could get use out of Unbothered just like someone who has a light to medium complexion can get use out of Off the Grid. Okay, so let's get into the demonstrations. So for the first look, now y'all know I be forgetting how I do things, but for the first look, I think I went in first with Off the Grid, and I wanted to see how this looked like as a bronzer against my complexion. I did it today as well, so depending on the order that I went in, you're gonna be seeing footage to match what I say. Okay, so Off the Grid is definitely a deeper type of lowlighter, a deeper type of highlight. For me, it's not gonna work well as an actual traditional highlighter. However, I do like it for a subtle bronze. So today, when I was putting on my makeup, I showed you what it looked like just on bare skin. I had nothing else on my skin, just went in with this lowlighter. I think the first time I put it on, I had on a matte bronzer and then I topped it with this one just to see, does it give me that glowy type of bronze to the skin? And I definitely think it does. I would say for me, I prefer to wear Off the Grid on my eyes. It looks so beautiful. It's such that beautiful bronzy glow to the eyes. And for me, I was like, this is going to be my summer eyeshadow right here. Like, especially if I'm going to the beach, if I'm going on vacation and I'm like, it's gonna be hot outside. I don't want to do a lot, but I want to do something. This shade right here, and because it has Upslight in it, it's gonna absorb the oils from me sweating, stay in place. Off the Grid on my eyes is just everything. I have it today on the outer portion of the eye, and it's so beautiful, it's so rich, but it's not overdone. Once again, we're getting that subtle type of bronze to the eye versus something that's like really deep and grungy and like extremely smoky. I can build this up to be more intense, but I feel like because these are low lighters that lit from within type of glow, this would not be the product you would reach for if you want to get like a whole bunch of drama. This is the type of product that you're going to use when you want like my skin but better. I want a little something. I want it to look like I've been in the sun, kind of. Maybe I don't, maybe I did, I don't know. Like, you just want it to be more subtle and luminous versus very pronounced. Keep that in mind when you're working with these. So that's how I love to use Off the Grid. I fall in the category of having medium to tan skin. So this is not the perfect low lighter for me, but the way that I love to wear it is on the eyes. And then like today, I put it on my skin first and then put my foundation on top. And I didn't really see that lit from within too much. So like for me, if I wanted the most subtle bronze, I would go in with this first and then maybe go in with balm powder on top just to like lightly tap it over this shade here. So you could see that like subtle bronze lit from within without doing too much. I wouldn't wear this just on top of my foundation because I think it looks a little too red, a little too deep for my liking in terms of what I prefer for my bronzer. But on the eyes or underneath for some underpainting, Off the Grid works beautifully for me, and I would recommend those same types of applications if you are around my skin tone or lighter. I would say the lighter you go, it would probably look better just on the eyes. But those would be my recommendations for this shade. If you have a deeper, richer complexion, depending on how deep and rich your complexion is, this will be a beautiful highlight on your skin as a low lighter highlighter. Okay, then going into Incognito, one of my favorite shades. So this shade does look really beautiful as a highlight on me. I actually did not put on highlight today. I put on another low lighter, but you know what? Let's just add a little while we're here. This shade right here is it's so pretty. And I'll be honest, the highlighters that I tend to prefer tend to be more in the champagne type of family, because sometimes gold, especially if it's like a really deep, rich gold, is too deep for my complexion. This is beautiful. It's not too deep. It's giving just juicy skin. Juicy skin, and I absolutely love it. So if you do have tan to medium skin, this is the highlighter that, or the low lighter I should say, that is recommended for you. You could use this on the high points of your cheeks, or if you find that this might be a little too deep for you, I would underpaint with it. So I would apply it maybe on bare skin, put your foundation on top, and then you're gonna get that beautiful like lit from within type of glow. I'm also wearing it today in the inner portion of the eyes, and it's just like, it's the most subtle glow to the eyes. Once again, definitely gonna be one of those shades that I'm gonna reach for when I'm on vacation this summer, because I don't like to do a lot of eyeshadow, especially when I know I'm gonna be in the heat. Something about the heat and sweating that it makes my eyes heavy. This is not going to feel heavy because it feels like nothing on the skin. It's going to control the oils, and it's gonna stay in place. These would also be perfect for people who you like shimmer on the eyes, but sometimes like shimmer formulas can feel too heavy or maybe too gritty on your eyes. This would be a really great formula that's not going to do that. Because the formula is so lightweight, it gives you that very soft matte type of finish on the eyes. It's going to feel like nothing. So I would also recommend this formula for people like that who I like shimmer, but a lot of shimmery highlighters are too heavy or too gritty for my eyelids. Try this one on the eyes. I think it would be good for you. If you do have a deeper complexion, I think this still would look really beautiful on you, especially if you do like a popping highlight. Imagine this on like a really deep chocolate complexion. Chef's kiss. If you have a lighter complexion than me, especially if you fall on the lighter complexion end of the spectrum, this would look beautiful as an eyeshadow. Depending on how light you are, you could maybe underpaint with this. If you have a warmer undertone, this gold might really look very nice under your foundation and give you that beautiful lit from within glow. So Incognito definitely is one of my favorites. Now let's go on to Unbothered. Girl, Unbothered did not come to play, okay? When I first saw this, I was like, oh, she's gonna be really cute. And then I put her on and I was like, Unbothered, you're supposed to be a low lighter, not a highlighter. Because she was like, I might be a low lighter, but I will be center of attention. Did y'all see my cheeks popping in the tutorial? Like, I put on this and she was like, my light will not be dimmed. So this one is stunning. Love this on the cheek, love it on the eyes as well. I think in the first video, I might even have put this on the lips. Oh, I forgot to mention, the formula is safe to use on your eyes, your face, and also on your lips. So you can use this all across the face, which I think is amazing. I think I put this on the lips the first time. I can't remember. Forgive me if I didn't. I think I did. But anywho, Unbothered, like I mentioned before, this is the low lighter that I would reach for when I want maybe more of like a cooler toned look, because it is going to pull a slightly more cool against my complexion because of the mauve undertones in this particular shade. Now, if you have a lighter complexion, this one, depending on your complexion, you might be able to use this as a highlighter, especially if you like more mauve toned highlights, or it will look really beautiful on you as a blush. I like to wear it as a blush, but more so as like a pop to the cheeks, because it really does give me a nice pop. If you have a deeper, richer complexion, I would say depending on your undertone, It could also be like a nice pop to the cheeks. Like maybe you just put it right here or like right on the center of the cheeks just to give that like bedazzle to the face. Of course, you can use this on the eyes and the lips as well. I remember when these first were announced, I was reading through the comments just to see what people were saying, because y'all know me, I love Danessa and I love all things that she creates, but I always like to see like what are people saying, what are people's thoughts. And so I saw like some feedback that, man, I wish she would have came out with a tone that was fitting for people who have cooler undertones. Definitely can see why that would be a concern for people with cooler undertones, because this really is the only shade that has a slightly cooler undertone. So if you're interested in these low lighters, I would definitely try Unbothered if you have a lighter complexion and it's also a little more cool. If this one doesn't work for you, then you know what? She loves to hear feedback from people. Get up in them DMs and let her know like, hey, I tried your low lighters. There's not a shade that works for me. You know, can you go back in the lab, come out with a shade with a cooler undertone? She really does listen to people's feedback. She loves to hear what we love. She loves to hear how we feel the product can be improved. So give Unbothered a try. I would also give Low Key a try because this is her universal shade. And if you feel like, you know what, these shades don't work for me just because they're too cool, let her know. She'd love the feedback, and she'd also love to know like, okay, this is what people want and this is what we need to do. So I did want to put that out there because I did see that type of feedback. And as much as I love the brand and as much as I feel like Danessa can do no wrong, like, there are always ways to accommodate people better, to make things better. And I am objective enough to recognize that and acknowledge that. So definitely leave your feedback also down in the comment section below. If you do have a cooler undertone and a lighter complexion and you've tried these, let us know if they do work for you, if they don't work for you, and why, so that we all can have a better understanding and just, you know, be able to converse about a product and figure out what works for us. Now on to Low Key. Honey, I love her, okay? Low Key is just, she's everything. She's everything I need her to be and more. Okay, so clearly it's not hard to figure out this is my favorite shade. These are literally my two favorite shades, which ironically are the shades that are recommended for my complexion. I totally see why they are recommended for my complexion. So today, what I did was I went in with her Balm Powder Flesh in Bellini. This is one of my absolute favorite shades. Sorry mine looks busted, but I be loving it, so that's what it is. Okay, Bellini and Low Key. They go together. They go together real bad. Real bad. So, love the way that Bellini looks on the cheek. And next time I wear it, honey, I should have did it today. I wasn't thinking about it until after the fact. We should have went in with Golden Hour first. Just imagine Golden Hour like right here. You know what? We actually can do that. We can do that. So, take a little Golden Hour. Tap, tap, tappity tap. Add Golden Hour here. I don't want to do too much because Golden Hour, she is definitely not a subtle one. So Golden Hour here, okay? And then I went in with Bellini right along here, all over the cheek. And then I topped Bellini with Low Key. Who's cute right now? It's me and this cheek. And this cheek combination. I love the way Low Key, like first of all, the name Low Key is perfection. Because when I wear Low Key, whether I have makeup on or not, this is the shade that like, if I have on no makeup whatsoever, and I'm like, I just want to add a little something to the cheeks, Low Key is perfection for that. Because there's not a lot of base to this particular shade, which is why I'm going to assume that this is her universal shade. So when you put it on your skin, especially when there's no makeup down, it really just almost like adapts to your skin. It's not an adapting type of shade. It's not like one of those formulas where it doesn't really have a shade and then you put it on your skin and then it adapts to a shade. I mean, it's got a shade, but because it's not extremely opaque, it really meshes well with just any complexion that it's put up against. So when I put it on bare skin, Unlike a highlighter, if I put a highlighter on bare skin, even if it's like a liquid highlighter, depending on the shade, depending on like my complexion, the undertone of the highlighter, it can look too stark. It can almost look like you need more on your face to handle that type of highlight. Low key doesn't need anything but itself and your juicy skin. That's it. And she looks so phenomenal. So like looking at my skin from afar, like this glow that you see right here, it just looks like I'd be drinking water all day long. And it's so beautiful. I just cannot get enough of Low Key. This is the shade For Sure that I have used the most. And then I would say it's Incognito. Third would be Off the Grid because I've been loving wearing it on the eyes. And then last would be Unbothered. Not because I don't like it. It's just that like those three shades are the shades that I naturally like to wear, especially when I'm doing just like regular makeup, like nothing with a ton of color. Those are the shades that I tend to go for in like my everyday makeup looks. So guys, those are the 4 lowlighters. They're beautiful. They're stunning. Let me add a little bit of golden hour right here, and then we're going to go into some comparisons and really get into what makes these different from the other products that you might be thinking. Okay, so the first product that I know you're like, yo, are they the same? Is there a similarity? Y'all done already been up in my DMs asking me, and I know it's the Fenty Beauty Demi Glow. So I have the shade Yum Rum. I only have one shade, so this is the shade that I have. And I do have already a full review of this particular highlight. So if you want to check it out, I'll try to remember to link it here so that you can see it and all the things. Now, I don't have like a perfect, well, you know what? We could do maybe a swatch comparison between Low Key and Yum Rum. They're not identical, but they're similar enough where we can do a side by side. So let's put on Low Key first. And I'll build this up so we can get a good feel for it. All right, so there is Low Key. Now let's go in with Yum Rum. Now first, just right off the bat, touching Yum Rum in comparison to Low Key, Yum Rum feels like a very soft powder highlight. So first difference is going to be the formula. Here is Fenty Beauty's Yum Rum, the Demi Glow, and then we've got the Lowlighters. So powder, balm to powder type of formula. So like I said, the Lowlighters are going to have just a little bit of like a slip to it, but not enough to where it's like sticky or anything like that. It does dry down to a nice soft powder formula. Secondly, you're going to notice the difference in the glow. So I feel like with the Fenty Beauty one, you do see more, not metallic, but you just see more shine, like just more like shimmer shine, more highlighter type of shine. The glow is still more subtle compared to especially like their other highlighters or like foil-based highlighters. But you do see more like sparkling effect from the Fenty Beauty Demi Glow highlight. And that sparkling effect, if you do have texture on your skin, could be a turnoff for you. So I'll come in a little closer so hopefully you can see it again. So there's that sparkling effect with the Fenty Beauty highlighter compared to when you look at the DMB highlight, the DMB Lowlighters up close, you don't see any of that shimmer, any of that sparkling shine. So if you do have texture on your skin, that's not going to be further enhanced. It's not, because it doesn't have that shimmery effect. So if you were thinking like, oh, I've got the Fenty Beauty Demi Glow, it might be the same. There is a difference there. And when you put it on the skin, even though this highlighter is going to be not as highlighty, you are still going to see a nice highlight to the skin. It's not going to be nearly as subtle as the DMB Lowlighters. Let's look at the Rare Beauty blushes, because these blushes have a similar formula to their highlighters. But to me, the glow is more subtle with the Rare Beauty Baked Blushes. This is the shade Joy that I'm going to go in with. I don't have, you know, an identical shade from the DMB Lowlighters, so I'm just going to swatch it next to Low Key. Now, the formula On the Rare Beauty ones, it is baked. So it feels very soft. There's no kick up or falling out or fallout, not falling out, fallout with the shade. There was a little bit of fallout with the Fenty Beauty Demi Glow. But as you can see, you're definitely getting more shine from these glowy blushes from Rare Beauty compared to D&B's Lowlighters. If I could say similarity between the two is that we're getting more of like blusher type of tones, just a little bit with this shade Low Key. But the other shades of the Lowlighters, you're not going to traditionally use them as blush. So calling that out. But once again, looking at the formula of these three, the D&B highlighter, the D&B lowlighter, once again, it's just giving you a lit from within glow versus like an overt highlighter glow. Let's go in with Pat McGrath's highlighter. This is her newest one in the shade Nude Opal. I just want to show you a difference between these lowlighters and then a more foiled highlight. So I'll put Pat McGrath's right here. So you've got Pat McGrath, Fenty Beauty's Demi Glow, D&B's Lowlighters, and then the Rare Beauty Blush and Joy. And you can definitely see that this is giving more of that traditional highlight. You've got that sparkle, that shine. You know, depending on how you build it up, we could like glow to the gods type of highlighter. And the biggest difference that I want you all to take away from this video is that with any other type of highlighter on the market, there's going to be shimmer to it that is apparent that would accentuate texture and give you that like immediate glow. Whereas the lowlighters are not going to do that. Even if you were going in with a liquid highlighter, like I'll even go in with one of Danessa's liquid highlighters. So my favorite shade is Tiara right here. This is the Vision Flush in Tiara. It's a beautiful liquid highlighter that when blended into the skin, it kind of blends. It can blend into a very subtle highlight depending on how much you put on. So I have it blended right here, but you can still see that we're getting a lot of shine, like a lot of like highlighty bling type of shine compared to, I think it's right here, yeah. The lowlighter formula, once again, it's just giving us like lit from within. I'm gonna keep saying the same thing. So when you think about these lowlighters and you're thinking about other highlighters, whether it's a liquid formula, whether it's a powder formula, if you're thinking like, are they similar? I would say the first question you should ask yourself is when you're looking at those highlighters up close, do you see any type of shimmer? Do you see any type of like shine that would accentuate texture? And if the answer is yes, then the formula is not anything similar to the lowlighters, because we've got Upsolite in the lowlighters that's going to not only blur the skin, but also reduce texture to the skin or reduce the look of texture to the skin. But these are going to give you that lit from within glow. So I hope that you found this video helpful. I know I was redundant, but as an educator, sometimes you got to say things 5 million times for people to actually understand what you're saying. And this is such a unique formula. I personally don't think there's anything on the market like this. If you do feel like, you know what, Chelsea, I feel like this could be very similar to it, drop it down in the comment section, because if I have the product, I will do a comparison so we can see. And if there are differences, I could call them out. If they are the same, I'll be like, you know what? You're right. They are the same. But I be knowing stuff. We have not seen this before. Just like we didn't see Balm powder. We didn't see nothing like that. So I highly, highly recommend them. Like I said, I've been loving them. I've had these now for about 3 weeks, I want to say. And I've been using them as much as possible, and they are just stunning. Definitely check them out. I don't think they're available in store yet, but they are sold at Sephora, on the D&B website, on Beautylish. So anywhere that you typically buy your D&B products, check there for these lowlighters. And guys, that's it. Leave all of your comments, your feedback, your suggestions, questions down in the comment section below. And if you've made it to this point in the video and you haven't yet to subscribe to my channel, I would love for you to consider subscribing and joining the Glam Girl Squad, because we love to have you. And guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope to see you in my very next video. Bye, guys.